This year, I mean, the sky's the limit, for this guy. And they might have the best front line in basketball in San Antonio right now.
He iced the Kings last night with shots that looked like Kobe shots. When you need a bucket and nothing else works, like someone's got to get a bucket. Can we talk for a second, though, about how now Kawhi has just reached the point where he just takes the ball from people.
I know.
They're not even dribbling it. He just goes and takes it.
You had
He's
those
like
hands.
I've never seen that before. Poor Ben McLemore was almost reduced to tears on the court last night.
I'm not sure it was that bad.
It should have been. I would have been.
I will say, though, that was a fun game to watch, right? And the Blazers game was a really fun game to watch. And all of the hand-wringing and the, oh, my God, this whole season, it's predetermined, and the Cavs and the Warriors, and isn't it going to be boring because we all think we know what's going to happen in the finals. Basketball is fun, and there's all these subplots all over the league every day. I was sitting there flipping around last night thinking,
It's gonna be a good year. It's gonna be a good year because again, you can't. I mean, if you play it on paper, give it to Golden State.
Yeah,
but the game is played on the court.
And it's fun to watch it play.
It is fun to watch.
Even if what happens at the end, even if it happens exactly as we say it's going to happen, it's going to be fun getting there. All right, we're going to go to break with this distant replay from Carmelo back in 2009. No triangle here.
Anthony for 30. Rebound Millsap. Look out. Pass. Melo! Oh, wow!
Now that was spectacular.
So, DeAndre, Mason Plumlee, come on. The Clippers' first game of the season. You need to chill a little bit here, guys, right?
Oh, I like it. Let's go. This is a sneaky, testy rivalry. I like it.
I love it. I love it. Neither one of them want to fight, though. So, what the heck?
Oh, you call them fake fighters?
I'm just saying. Neither one really wanted to fight.
Ow.
Come on. I'm just saying.
It's a Friday, and, man, the takes are already here. We have three-time NBA champ Byron Scott back, and, of course, the esteemed Zach Lowe.
Zero-time NBA champ. Zero.
I didn't want to bring it up, but, I'm glad you just got to it right there. Guys, let's be honest. There was a lot of hand-wringing about the Chicago Bulls this summer, right? The roster, it sort of felt like when you go to the grocery store, when you're hungry, and you just sort of randomly start taking things off the shelf, like, ooh, a Rajon Rondo, that looks good, and a Dwayne Wade, yeah, let's get that. All of a sudden, you end up with a shopping cart full of players who can't space the floor and can't shoot long distance. Or so we thought. Last night, Wade was 4 of 6 from 3, including the 25-foot step back that proved a dagger in a win over the Celtics. This is a man who only made 7 threes all of last season. Now, let me put it another way. Of the players who've attempted more than 1,000 threes in their career, so, basically veterans, Wade is one of the 3 worst at it in history. You know it's not good when you are on a list with Charles Barkley. Come on. No wonder his wife, Gabrielle Union, tweeted this during the game. Who is this guy? Is right.
All right, Gabby.
But here's the thing about Wade. Of all the skills the 12-time All-Star has, his most valuable might just be his adaptability. You remember how Wade played to win his first ring, barreling to the basket like a tornado. The slogan that Converse dreamed up for him was fall down 7 times, stand up 8, right? But then as he aged, he adapted his style, developing his shot a la Michael Jordan there. And then when LeBron James came to Miami, it was Wade who adapted yet again. And now he's trying to adapt one more time. This summer, he asked Fred Hoiberg to be his shooting coach and spent weeks learning Hoiberg's footwork. Most players aren't looking to try new things as they approach 35 years old. But you only needed to see Wade come down the hallway after last night's game to know how much this all means to him.
That's the way you do it. That's a homecoming right there. I like that one.
Now, to me, that doesn't look like a man who is sour about a role in Chicago that has him often deferring to Jimmy Butler. That looks like a man who knows how to adapt. And so the question I want to ask you guys really is, first of all, do you buy that Dwayne Wade is now going to be a three-point shooter? And in general, I mean, can the Bulls do better than they are poised to on paper?
Well, you know what, Rachel? It's like throwing a lot of food in the pot. It's like gumbo. You throw all these different things in the pot. All of a sudden it comes out and it tastes pretty good. You know what I'm saying? It tastes pretty good. Dwayne Wade might not hit another 3 all season long. I mean, he hit 4 last night. But
the one little thing, faith, Byron Scott.
I love Dwayne. You know I love D-Wade. But I think he understands who he is as a basketball player. His adaptability is something that he can do on a night-to-night basis. He's one of those guys that, take it from Kobe, who learned that, early in his career he was able to get to the basket, do whatever he wanted. Now as you slow down, You have to get that mid-range game, and you have to get that long-range game as well. And that's something that he's able to do.
Look at
that's me back in the day, you know. I mean,
you can do that
I like
now,
Dwayne,
right?
you know. I wish
guy.
on a 7-foot court, I could do that. You know, where he was jumping all over the place. And then as I got older, it was more of these, jump
there we
shots.
Go. By the way, I noticed you're shooting.
1 or 2 dribbles.
Oh, look at that basket. It's going over Michael Jordan's head.
You know, with Scotty and Michael out there, so you learn to adapt as you get older and as you get, that experience as well.
Absolutely.
Look, they'll be fine. They're a nice NBA team. They're winning like the low 40s.
I've heard you.
That's
playoffs. That's playoffs, though.
There
you go. That's
for the
playoffs.
Like, look, they're very smart. They can pass and cut better than almost any other team in the league. They'll figure stuff out. And I will say this: people are going to leave them so open that their threes are going to be easier than a lot of other teams' threes until if they start making them, that'll change. So they'll figure some stuff out, but. Man, that spacing is awful, and there are going to be nights where it just doesn't work.
I mean, it never looked good during preseason. It didn't look good last night. When you saw them put this roster together, and we know how it all happened, they certainly did not expect Wade to be available. What did you think, though, in terms of someone who does think about roster makeup as much as you do?
I thought, I'm not sure they have any plan in place or what the long-term vision of the franchise. I mean, they hired Fred Hoiberg, and they said, his pace and space offense is the missing ingredients to take us where Tibbs couldn't take us. And then they signed nothing but guys who can't shoot. I mean, it's like, why'd you hire Fred Hoiberg? I don't know.
So there you go. But you wouldn't mind getting those 3 players on your bench
of course
if you were
not.
a coach, right?
All those guys are, they have a wealth of experience, like you talked about. Like you said, if they keep getting those shots and they improve their jump shots, then they're going to be hard to beat. But we're looking at 1 game sample right now.
Against a team on second end of a back-to-back.
Right. It's a 1 game sample. So let's look at this, during All-Star break, and let's see where they are. Because I do agree with you that spacing is still going to be, a little suspect, and you got guys who are not shooters going to have to shoot it.
Dwayne Wade might not hit another 3 again.
Well, I'm just saying. He might end up with 8 or 9 this year instead of the 7.
You were in midseason form, too. The second game of that doubleheader was a great game, right? It was a little chippy, Clippers-Blazers, and afterward, take a listen to what Chris Paul told TNT's David Aldridge.
We know we are not one of the most liked teams in the league, and we talked about embracing it. Seriously, forget everything else. Let's go out there every night, back-to-back a night. Let's play and compete. It is what it is.
That's pretty strong there. Embrace the hate, right? I mean, if the Clips do want to go that route, they have some good squads to live up to, right? Love the bad boys. Not bad. And then, the bare-knuckle Knicks of the 90s. They got into a bit. You didn't want to run into them in a dark alley there. Well, maybe Jordan did. Yeah.
Now that's basketball back in the day.
No, Jeff, no, don't do it.
It's like a time machine. You can't make them stop. And we remember Miami initially tried to embrace the hate when they became the Heatles. Remember, LeBron was, I'm okay to wear the black hat, all that stuff. Do you guys think this is a good strategy for the Clippers? Didn't our friend Howard Beck write that they have all
Everyone
these quotes
hates the Clippers.
at why everybody hates the Clippers? I mean, should they just embrace it?
Yeah, whatever floats their boat. I don't really care. Whatever does it for them.
I'm going to find something you care about.
No, you know what I care about? Who's the 5th guy on the floor in crunch time with Redick, DJ, Blake, and CP? That's what I care about. That's going to decide whether they can actually get to the conference finals for the first time in franchise history. That's what I care about.
Does it elevate a team, though, to give them a little extra?
First of all, that 5th guy is Crawford. Let's just throw him out there. Okay, but yeah, I think it does. I think, what Chris Paul is doing, he's taking a page out of Kobe Bryant's book, who used to always come in and talk about he loved being the villain. And I think right now this team feels that everybody does hate him. And one of the reasons is because they complain all the damn time. But we won't get into that. The referees hate them, everybody. But I think they're taking this to a level where, hey, this is something that can motivate us to get to that Western Conference Finals, which is something they've never been able to do.
Do you think the refs are kind of fed up with them?
I think absolutely.
There's no question.
I think the refs get tired of guys complaining time and time again. And, just like anything else, you keep complaining, the referees all of a sudden, they start shutting you out too.
Can they defend Kawhi and Clay and KD with Jamal and JJ on the wing? Is that going to fly?
Probably not. But I think they'll probably look at it like we feel we can at least score with you. And that puts pressure on the other team as well to try to defend them. But, San Antonio after 2 games looks really good.
They're not
as
embracing
usual.
any hate, so
because everybody always
forgets
about them. They don't think about them.
I don't know if anyone's forgetting about Kawhi with the numbers he's put up in their first 2 games, right? I don't think he can go low-key this season with those kinds of performances. He looks good. All right, before we go to break, I do want to update a story that we spoke about on this show yesterday. The Sixers pulling R&B singer Sevyn Streeter from singing the national anthem because she was wearing a shirt that said, "We matter." Enough Sixers players were upset about the team's decision. They had a meeting with management, and they weren't the only ones who spoke out. Here's a tweet from the Heat's Justice Winslow saying, "We matter," and posing with a raised fist with the Sixers' Jeremy Grant. And today, the Sixers released this statement, quote, "We are sorry that this happened. After receiving feedback from our players, basketball operations staff, and ownership group, we believe that the wrong decision was made, and Sevyn should have been welcome to sing. We apologize to her, and in an effort to move the conversation forward, we have reached out to offer her an opportunity to return and perform at a game of her choice. We are waiting to hear back." Now, those of you who watched the show yesterday know how I feel on this issue. A black woman simply stating that she matters, that she is as human and as worthy of recognition and rights as anyone else in this country. That is not something that should be up for debate or that there should be political sides on. That's not anti-American or a protest against the military. And the people who want to turn it into one are not the people you want to pander to as an organization. So I really appreciate what the Sixers did here. When their players and front office staff had an issue, they listened. We don't see that all the time. And then the Sixers publicly acknowledged that they were wrong. They said they were changing their minds, and they apologized, an apology that actually sounded sincere. That is not how public discourse usually works these days. All the more reason why it's refreshing. All right, we'll be back with more of The Jump right after this. Double-double in his Hawks debut last night, and after the game, his head coach, Bud, went full PFT commenter there. He said, Dwight has established himself as an elite player. Byron, he's talking about a guy who hasn't made an all-star team in 2 years. Do you buy that he is in the elite of the NBA still?
No, I do not. But I will say this. He can be an elite player again if Dwight Howard would do the little things. Yeah. Defend, rebound, block shots. You know, if he does those things, he's one of the elite big men in this game. When he gets himself in trouble is when he all of a sudden wants the ball on the offensive end. You know, he wants to be that post-up player. That's not his forte. So do what you do. And if he does what he does, he's going to be tough this year.
What were the conversations you had with him when I assume you said you need to do these little things?
No, I never had a conversation with him.
Whatever
I
one
wasn't coaching him then.
Oh,
So.
I'm sorry.
Whatever
overlapping in my head.
Whatever one tier below elite is, that's where he is. He's still really good. And I think he fit really well with the Hawks last night. He did exactly what they needed. He looked good. They only posted him up when their bench guys were in and they needed some offense. I think it worked well.
I mean, he is the reason why I'm flashing back to the Lakers. What I was going through my head is there are two. He was playing with two different players in Kobe and James Harden, who have made it clear that they did not like playing with him. Right. He is now playing on a team with players who have at least said publicly that they do like playing with him. That has to make him feel better, right? And the way that he wants to produce for them.
Absolutely. I think it makes him feel much more part of the team. And like you said, we know in Houston last year, you know, he made a statement about these guys hang out together. They're friends off the court. We know good and well him and James Harden didn't hang out together. I'm pretty sure in the locker room after the game, he probably said, "Which way you going?" Because I'm going the opposite.
Can you tell
Don't want to be around.
Yeah,
you going that way? Good. I'm going this way.
Okay.
You know, so we know when you're in a team environment and guys feel that love, they play better.
That buzzer means it is time for Make or Miss.
Okay.
Make goals. Boris Diaw told GQ he wants to go to space, maybe even Mars. Zach, do you share Boris Diaw's desire for space travel?
Yeah, Earth is over. It's time for